Have you ever wondered which country is better to live in, work in, or even move to, Australia or Singapore? Both are highly developed, both attract immigrants from all over the world, and both offer amazing opportunities. But when it comes to cost of living, weather, job market and lifestyle, which one actually gives you the better deal? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. Australia, with its vast landscapes, relaxed lifestyle and strong economy, has always been a top choice for expats, especially from Asia, Europe and North America. On the other hand, Singapore, a small city-state in Southeast Asia, has transformed itself into a global financial hub and one of the safest, most modern places on Earth. But these two countries are not the same, and their differences might just surprise you. In this video, we'll break down the comparison into 4 big areas: cost of living, weather, job opportunities, and overall lifestyle. By the end, you'll know exactly which one suits your dreams, your budget, and your future. So let's dive right in. Cost of living. When it comes to cost of living, both Australia and Singapore can be expensive, but the type of expenses differ. In Singapore, the biggest costs are housing, food, and cars. For example, renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city centre can easily cost more than 2,000 Singapore dollars a month. Meanwhile, the same apartment outside the city might drop to around 1,500. The reason is simple: Singapore is small, land is limited, and demand is sky-high. Australia, on the other hand, has more space, but rent in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne can also be steep. A one-bedroom apartment in Sydney's city centre can cost around 2,000 Australian dollars per month, while outside the city it may drop closer to 1,400. But overall, you do get more space for your money compared to Singapore. Food is another major factor. In Singapore, eating out is affordable if you stick to hawker centres, where meals cost between 5 to 10 Singapore dollars. But if you prefer restaurants, be ready to spend $20 to $30 per meal. In Australia, dining out is generally pricier. Even a simple lunch in Sydney can set you back 15 to 20 Australian dollars. However, grocery shopping in Australia tends to be cheaper because the country produces more of its own food, while Singapore imports almost everything. Transportation costs also show a clear difference. Singapore has one of the most efficient public transport systems in the world, with trains and buses covering almost every corner of the city. Monthly transport passes cost around 100 Singapore dollars. Owning a car, though, is a luxury, thanks to the certificate of entitlement, which can cost as much as a small house. Australia is more car-dependent, especially outside major cities. Petrol is cheaper, but commuting costs can rise if you need to drive long distances daily. So if you are someone who prefers public transport and small living spaces, Singapore might be more manageable. But if you need a bigger home and don't mind paying more for eating out, Australia might balance out better. Weather. Weather is one of the biggest lifestyle factors when comparing Australia and Singapore. Singapore is located near the equator, meaning it has a tropical rainforest climate. That translates into hot and humid weather all year round. Average temperatures range between 25 to 31 degrees Celsius. Rain is frequent, with sudden showers almost every afternoon. There are no real seasons, just wet and dry periods, so if you love constant warmth, Singapore delivers. Australia, by contrast, is a huge country, and its climate varies dramatically depending on where you live. Northern Australia, such as Darwin, has a tropical climate similar to Singapore, with wet and dry seasons. Southern cities like Melbourne, Sydney, and Adelaide enjoy 4 distinct seasons. Summers can reach 35 degrees Celsius, while winters can drop to below 10 degrees Celsius. Some areas even get snow. This variety can be either a blessing or a challenge. Many expats prefer Sydney or Melbourne because the climate is more balanced, warm summers and mild winters. But if you can't stand the cold at all, Singapore's consistent heat may feel more comfortable. On the other hand, Singapore's humidity can be exhausting. Walking outdoors often feels sticky, and air conditioning becomes a necessity. In Australia, even during hot summers, the air is drier, which makes heat easier to handle. In short, if you want variety and the experience of 4 seasons, Australia wins. But if you prefer stable, warm weather year-round, Singapore is your paradise. Job opportunities. Jobs are a major reason why people move abroad, and here's where the differences are striking. Singapore is one of the world's top financial and business hubs. Banking, finance, technology, shipping, and biotech are huge industries. The unemployment rate usually stays below 3%, which shows the country's economic stability. Expats often find opportunities in finance, IT, education, and healthcare. However, Singapore has become more competitive in recent years, with stricter rules on hiring foreigners. Companies are encouraged to hire locals first, meaning that expats need strong skills and experience to secure a position. Australia, on the other hand, has a more diverse economy. Mining, healthcare, education, tourism, and IT are some of the strongest sectors. Skilled migration is a big part of Australia's immigration policy, and the country regularly updates its skilled occupation list to attract foreign workers. Wages are generally higher than in Singapore, especially for jobs in healthcare, engineering, and construction. Work culture is also different. In Singapore, the environment is fast-paced, competitive, and often involves longer working hours. In fact, surveys show that employees in Singapore work among the longest hours in Asia. In Australia, however, there is a stronger focus on work-life balance. The average work week is around 38 hours, and people highly value weekends and holidays. So, if your priority is a high-paying job in finance or tech and you can handle competition, Singapore is an excellent choice. But if you want good wages with more free time and a balanced lifestyle, Australia could be the better option. Lifestyle and more. Beyond cost, weather, and jobs, lifestyle makes the biggest difference in choosing between these two countries. Singapore is often praised for its safety, cleanliness, and efficiency. Crime rates are extremely low, making it one of the safest cities in the world. Healthcare and education are top-notch, but also expensive. The city is small and dense, so entertainment often revolves around shopping malls, dining, or traveling abroad for holidays. Many people appreciate the convenience, but some may find it restrictive. Australia, by contrast, offers more space, outdoor activities, and a laid-back lifestyle. From beaches to mountains to national parks, the natural beauty is unmatched. Sports, barbecues, and outdoor adventures are part of daily life. Healthcare is subsidized under the Medicare system, making it more affordable for residents. Education is also highly respected, with universities ranked among the world's best. However, Australia has its challenges: higher crime rates compared to Singapore, longer travel distances, and sometimes higher taxes. Culturally, Singapore is more cosmopolitan, with a blend of Chinese, Malay, Indian, and Western influences. Festivals, food, and traditions are part of everyday life. Australia is multicultural too, with immigrants from Asia, Europe, and beyond, but its culture is more Western-oriented. In terms of long-term settlement, Australia is generally easier for permanent residency and citizenship. Singapore offers permanent residency, but is selective, and citizenship is harder to obtain. So if you want safety, efficiency, and a fast-paced global city, Singapore is ideal. But if you prefer space, nature, and a relaxed lifestyle with long-term residency options, Australia might be the better fit. So, which one would you choose, Australia or Singapore? The answer really depends on your lifestyle preferences, career goals, and personal values. If you're chasing high-paying jobs in finance or tech, and you want a safe, ultra-modern city, then Singapore might be your dream destination. But if you crave space, nature, a slower pace of life, and more long-term settlement opportunities, then Australia could be the perfect choice. Both countries are amazing in their own way. One offers stability and efficiency in a compact environment, while the other gives you space, diversity, and freedom. The real question is, which lifestyle fits you better? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more comparisons like this one. And now, tell us in the comments, would you rather live in Australia or Singapore, and why?